Look at that right off the bat. Did I just rhyme? Look at that right off the bat. Sophia gifted a Crime Lines and Lies membership. Thank you, my girl. You're already making it rain in here. Woo! It is Friday. What is your weekend plans? Are you getting ready for Thanksgiving? Chilling on the couch? Raking leaves? What you got going on? I hope it's not YouTube, unless I'm live, or true crime. I hope you decompress, because it's been a hell of a last few weeks. Good morning, Patty Ponytail. Good morning, Rockin' Robin. True Crime Beat, you suck ass. True Crime Beat has a 12-mile run. It takes a lot for me to drive 12 miles, let alone run it. Good for you, True Crime Beat. Nufflin, decorations and cleaning. It is so cold here. Just me's having family day tomorrow. Woo! Woo! Got a lot going on. Well, I hope everybody has a splendid weekend. If you watch football, get some good football games in. And let's do this thing, because I'm not done with Jenn Soto anytime soon. The fact, well, according to the internet, internet facts, that she keeps checking in and out of this, what's the woke term for it? Mental institution. She keeps going in and out. I think she's going to continue to do this till they leave her alone. I think she will. I absolutely think she will. I think there is a plan behind it. Because listen, if you act crazy enough, somebody, it only takes one, might believe you. And as far as the immunity, Nancy Grace knows better than this. Aunt Nancy is smarter than this. The immunity is when she came in for another interrogation. This is when they knew. They knew she had lied to them. And they said, we're not going to hold any of that against you if you tell us the truth now. Now, I wasn't expecting old Aunt Nancy to get on the clicks and views train. She knows better. She knows better. She knows the difference between proffer agreement, full immunity, and derivative immunity. She knows that. She's a lawyer. And some people say, well, I can't believe they did it at all. Why didn't they just go ahead and lock her up? Because they knew that she had lied to the police. They knew it. I think it comes down to, do you want a guppy or do you want the big fish? And they need her information. They need it. She is Maddie's mother. Lying to the police gets put down to a misdemeanor. Who the hell wants to chase her around for $500 for the next 2 years? She might sit in jail for 8 hours. And that's what it comes down to. I mean, they can charge her with a felony per lie. They can. But by the time it gets to the meeting table, they're going to say, come on, she doesn't have a record. Her daughter just died. She's on this medication. She's on that medication. Look at everything she's going through. And they're going to reduce it to a misdemeanor. So I do understand it, even though I'm not an attorney. Because we've seen a lot of this over the years. We've seen a lot of it. I want a felony charge and then a conviction put on her. because even though Stefan is charged with the big M, Jenn Soto facilitated it. Let's take a second and welcome everyone and say TGIF. Now, she is not a mother. She is someone that dicks around on her phone, does what she can to not work, ignores what goes on between her own four walls, sleeps, eats, rinse, repeat. I do have somewhat of a theory. I was reading the letter, this is a couple months ago when it came out, that she wrote on behalf of Maddie's dad. Now, the wording, the phrasing, and everything said to me she is, or at that time, was still in love with Madeline's dad. She has said on her Facebook before that she felt like he wanted nothing to do with her because of Maddie. Now let's think about this. If she feels that Madeline's dad wanted nothing to do with her, Jenn Soto, not Madeline, because of Madeline, it is plausible that she might turn a blind eye to what Stefan is doing in order to keep him around. She's not about to let another fish off the hook. Michelle G said, I love how even though we have different views and opinions, we can come together for one purpose. We all want justice for Maddie. Yes. Yes. Full justice. Everyone involved, anyone connected, no matter how long it takes. I think the only thing in America right now we can 100% agree on is that we want Mike Tyson to whip the dog piss out of that mouthy kid that has the nerve to challenge Mike Tyson. Who in here is going to be watching the fight tonight on Netflix? Because I will. Oh, you better believe it. Oh, you better believe it. And it's kind of one of those things. If old boy dies, he dies. All right, so this is a few things that Jenn Soto has said. Her words, not ours. That basically lead us to believe she knew way more.
I've always told him that my biggest fear is that this would turn into a Woody Allen situation where the stepdaughter or the dad grooms the child and the child turns 18 and ends up running away with him. I told him like that was my biggest fear and I don't ever want that happening. Like, you can't do that to me. Like,
why would you say that to him?
Because I never trusted. I grew up being told never trust a man. My mom put that in my body. Never trust a man.
My mom put that in my body. Never trust a man. Her mom might have said, be cautious letting men around Madeline. She might have said, hey, old boy doesn't seem too good for you. I don't know. But the grooming And the fact that she openly put those words out in the universe tells me she knew. Am I really supposed to believe that she sent Madeline, not just Stefan or Stefan, whatever they want to call him? He's the one with insomnia. If you want to get a good night's sleep, you tell Dick Punch, go sleep in the living room, go take a walk, drive around. But she sent them both out of the room. Now, exactly what would Stefan and Maddie be doing in the bed that would interrupt her sleep? That is the question. She takes an arsenal of medication. I mean, hell, enough to knock a horse out. So you're telling me that her daughter sleeping next to her is going to wake her up? No. No. Her mom and her sister were always at her beck and call when it came to Maddie. She could have been like, hey, I need to get some sleep tonight. Can Maddie just stay with you after the birthday party? I'll pick her up for school tomorrow. No, that didn't happen. No. It was yet another spoon feeding to Stefan. I mean, look at this. Look what she said. It was too risky for them all to sleep together.
Now, June 16th of last year at 9:30 p.m. and 27 seconds, you texted Stefan this: Maddie's no longer sleeping with me. I can't risk it. What does that mean?
I have no idea.
She said, I had no idea. I have no idea. It was her text. It's too risky. It's too risky. What's risky? You getting your ass hung up, Jenn? Listen to her again. All roads point to Jenn Soto and Stefan Stearns. Too risky. It's never too risky for your own child to be around you unless you're doing something wrong.
Now, June 16th of last year at 9:30 p.m. and 27 seconds, you texted Stefan this: Maddie's no longer sleeping with me. I can't risk it. What does that mean?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. How does she not know? How does she not know? It was just a few months before. Turtle Talk. Reading my mind. The fact that his boxers was hanging out of Maddie's laundry basket says a lot. He wasn't hiding nothing. Jenn knew. There is no reason, unless Jenn's going around the house picking up dirty laundry, saying it's laundry day. But this was Maddie's laundry basket. You can't tell me that from the age of 8, Maddie washed her own laundry, dried her own laundry, folded her own laundry, hung her own dry laundry, and put everything up to where nobody saw her undershorts. Usually women do the laundry. I don't have a girl, but I was a girl at one time. Now I'm a crusty old woman. My mother would ask me things. You know, is everything okay? I mean, we know what goes on with our bodies. We're not talking about crusty socks from a boy. We're not talking about shit stains in your son's underwear. We can figure that out for ourselves. No point in bringing that up. But when your mom sees what appears to be bloodstains in your underwear a few times a month or doesn't see it for a while, they're going to ask. But according to Jenn Soto, she had an app smarter than a mother's instinct that would track all their periods. Well, it damn sure didn't track Stefan's. And the roommate who lived there also had an inkling as to what was going on. I'm going to say right now, lock them all up.
Stephen Stearns is one disturbed man, and as I dig more into the case and uncover more information, I truly hope he never sees the light of day again. He is absolutely despicable. Information has now emerged from the roommate that stayed in the house with Jenn Soto, Maddie, and Stephen too. In interviews conducted shortly after Maddie was reported missing, police spoke with Angelica Negro, the roommate of Maddie and her mother. Her answers were given in Spanish and translated by a detective.
Okay, by the way, this is from our friend Evil Exists. And what the roommate, so if you want to go subscribe, but credit goes. The clipping goes to Evil Exists. We don't need to put the link in here. Look at Token. My mom always knew when I was on my cycle. No app needed. Well, Jenn needed an app. And in my opinion, it's because she was really keeping track of it. Good morning, Muscles and Mascara. We miss you. Baby Fingers, welcome. It's so telling that the people most upset about Maddie are strangers and not the family. I love that. Now let's listen to what the roommate had to say.
Police revealed that Stephen had placed a camera under the door of the roommate and secretly took nude photos of her. Angelica was asked about Stephen sleeping alone with Maddie in the bedroom. She said she has witnessed this, describing them as being extremely close and a father-daughter type of relationship. The night before Maddie was reported missing, she recalled hearing something coming from Stephen's room, which continued until she fell asleep. She
heard something coming from his bedroom, and it continued until she fell asleep. Now, I'm not going to blame the roommate too much for this, because if he's playing a video game, because she doesn't describe the sound. Hey, Tarhel. She doesn't describe the sound. But she heard something coming from his old room, if you know what I mean. The room his father was no longer paying rent on, room number 4. The one that Jenn Soto sent them up to sleep in because she wanted a good night's rest. Hey, look, bitch, if you're that tired, you'll sleep through anything. If you've really been busting your ass at Walt Disney World, then you'll sleep through anything. You have got to be kidding me. Thank you, Paper Slut, for the Crime Lines and Lies membership. Token, please thank Paper Slut. You guys are all over it today.
She also noted that Stephen was behaving unusually. She said she saw 3 tools on the table, one of which being a hammer. She didn't recognize the other 2 tools. Stephen was also washing clothes, something he never does.
So she describes some tools on the table that she didn't see the day before, and one was a hammer. Now we know from the autopsy, which we haven't seen the whole thing, that cause of death, not manner, but cause of death, was strangulation, a fixation by strangulation. But something about the tools being out, hearing the noises, and knowing they had an unusually close relationship made her take pause. And I couldn't imagine coming across that. Just like what I'm coming across right now. Diana Howery gifted 10 Crime Lines and Lies memberships. Muscles gifted 40. What on earth are you all doing? Woo! Woo! Yeah, you want some bang for your buck? You get you a Crime Lines and Lies membership. We got a lot of stuff going on. All right, so hammer and 2 other tools.
The next morning, the roommate reports hearing a power tool sound coming from inside the house. When Jenn Soto asked Stearns about the tools, he replied that he was finishing up a project, though he did not specify what the project was. The nude photos of the roommate was actually found on Stephen Stearns' phone, and police asked her to confirm whether that was her being photographed without her knowledge. Prior to seeing these photos, she couldn't believe he could do something or hurt Maddie. Now, seeing these photos, she believed.
All right, we're going to go back to that because we have a lot to absorb. A project? Him? What kind of project would his frumpy ass have? What kind of project? Oh, I've got a project. Wouldn't any of us say, well, what's the project? You building a new coffee table? Fixing the dresser? Building a flower bed? What's the project? Oh no, it's just a project, and we walk away. Just a project. Jenn Soto is the one that asked, what's going on with all the power tools? This dude can't change a tire. He had to call his daddy. He had to call his daddy to change a tire. He's not even smart enough to call roadside assistance and have it done, or God forbid, he gets his hands dirty. But he had a project going. And Jenn didn't question it. Let's go back to that.
Whether that was her being photographed without her knowledge. Prior to seeing these photos, she couldn't believe he could do something or hurt Maddie. Now, seeing these photos, she believes that he is capable of anything. Her perception of Stephen had changed after she was made aware of the photos. Police have not yet filed charges against Stephen Stearns for the illegal recording of his roommate. As for Jenn Soto, whether she knew what was going on or not, it doesn't seem like charges are coming for her, even though many hope and pray she gets charged. It was her duty to make sure Maddie was safe under her roof.
True words. It was her job to make sure Maddie was safe under her roof. Could you imagine being the roommate? The non-English speaking roommate who thinks they're just renting a room from a friend's father, okay? And then next thing you know, their friend's daughter is a missing person, presumed to be dead. And then you're confronted with pictures of your naked ass saying, is this you? Because it's on his phone. You know how mad I would have been? Oh my goodness. There's no pictures of me floating around unless I have used somewhat of a damn filter. Hell no. I got to play the music real quick. You guys are coming unglued with the gifts. My goodness. Look at that. Turtle Talk, Diana, muscles and mascara. I think she fell on the send button. Man, come on, do with you. I guess YouTube hates Brit, Peach State Mama, and Walking Dead. I can't help you there, girls. People think that I have the YouTube controls. I do not. I do not. All right, let's get to some shocking shit that Jenn Soto has said over time.
Have you talked to Chris about Stephanie being a lawyer?
Yeah.
When?
I think when you guys showed me the photos.
So we showed you photos of Stephen raping. And
No.
the first thought you had was to ask his father if he should get a lawyer?
No. I saw a picture. I didn't see the rape. I didn't know she was getting raped until yesterday. I saw the picture of the oral sex happening. And I knew that was true, right? That's evidence. That's for real. That's fucking happening. But I kept thinking, they're going... I don't know why I can't tell you why my brain kept thinking, no, he didn't kill her. Not that he didn't kill her, but she's still missing. She's still out there. She was taken. Yes, he's done this to her. And that's not okay. But I swore she was still... I felt in my body she was still alive. She was still out there. I told Chris to get a lawyer because I felt like you guys were chasing the wrong person. But you weren't. You're not.
We showed you a picture. The picture you saw, she was giving a blowjob to a grown-ass man, and you told his dad to get him a lawyer. Missing, right? Now then you just thought she was missing. And we were showing you our investigative lead being raped. A blowjob is rape. Not consensual. Whether she wants to do it or not, that is not consensual. And you prioritized him again. You prioritized him by offering him or telling his dad to get him a lawyer. Not, what the fuck did he do? Not, hey, we need to figure out what happened. No, let's protect Stefan.
I was in shock.
No, it's not shock. That is your natural instinct to protect Stefan.
Yes, tell her.
Okay? And if that's naturally how you react, that's fine. But that goes into what I've been telling you this whole conversation is I don't believe a lot of the things you're saying, and I don't believe a lot of the things you say you weren't aware of, and that is because you've now shown me twice that your first reaction, no matter what you were told or shown, missing or seizing a cell phone, or we're showing you pictures of her giving him a blowjob, your first reaction is to protect Stefan. So now, ordered by Stefan, you're aware of this, you were shown pictures of this, you were shown pictures of her body in his car with a seatbelt on, right? We have played it out for you. Now you're in a stage where he's in jail, you know she's passed away, and now you can feel emotion, right? Until that point, when you were shown that she was deceased, your continued first reaction is to protect this guy. You just said, I only saw a picture of him, whatever your verbiage was, I say blowjob, of his penis in her mouth, and your first reaction was, fuck. Oh my, victimized? No. She's being abused? No. It's Stefan needs a lawyer.
Stefan needs a lawyer. Now, I probably have said this a million times on this channel when we talk about Madeline Soto. I always say, I would need a lawyer. You see, I would need a lawyer. I would not be worried at all about a lawyer for him. It wouldn't even cross my mind. Let's say she absolutely was oblivious to what was going on in room number 4 or what was going on right under her nose. Let's just say she was being presented with those photographs. I would say I'm going to need a lawyer. Not because I'm worried about me. It's because I'm going to kill him. And I want to clear up the immunity. I know we have people just coming in. Kelly said, and she has immunity. You know, old Aunt Nancy Grace and a few others have really screwed this up. It's not full immunity. They brought her in, and they should have never had to bring her back in. But they knew what she was telling them didn't fit the evidence they had collected. So they bring her ass back in to confront her and say, we're going to forget the last interview. We're going to forget the last interview. We're not going to prosecute you for that, even though we can. But it's derivative immunity. Those detectives want her in jail. They do. And they probably turned things into the DA saying, she lied, she lied, she lied, she lied. She lied, she lied, she lied, she lied. And the DA probably said, yeah, but I'm going to need more of her testimony. So make a deal with her and say, we'll forgive that interview and you continue talking to her until I can put some more pieces in this puzzle. It happens every day. Every day. And I believe that's what happened. If it was up to me, I would have thrown her in the slammer just for saying that she still thought they had the wrong guy because she thought the sex stuff wasn't that bad. This is what she said.
Go back inside. Me? I don't care if it's the love of my life sitting next to me. I don't care if it's maternal grandma. If the police come and take my mom's phone and my son's disappearance, I'm not going to offer my mom a lawyer. That's nuts to me. That to me shows you prioritizing Steph. Because at that point, you became more worried about him being falsely accused than anyone else. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Whether or not that's what you felt, does that make sense? People having lawyers is their constitutional right. That is a thing that everybody is afforded. But for somebody who's going through what you are going through, to offer him a lawyer leads me to believe that there may have been a conversation, there may have been knowledge, or there may have been some inclination that you had, whether it be his involvement, her location, or something to where in your mind, there's guilt.
I promise you.
Because you offering him a lawyer is very weird.
I know. That was still me under the assumption that, I think at one point you guys interviewed me, and when you guys showed me the picture of her, I believed the sexual stuff, but I didn't want to believe that he had done anything evil to her. I'm like, I believed the sexual stuff, but I didn't want to believe that he had done anything evil to her. I'm like, no, what if he did this stuff fine, but what if she's still missing out there? What if somebody took her? I still wanted to believe I believed him. I believed his whole story. So I was just like, I kept repeating that part. I'm just like, what if she did get dropped off? What if she got abducted? What if she's missing? But that was me assuming that you guys had the wrong guy. I wanted to think he was a good guy still, but clearly he's not. After everything you guys have told me and have shown me, I know he's the worst person on this face of the earth.
We know that now. We know he's a piece of shit now.
You know?
But you didn't know that then.
I didn't.
Then you offered a guy who the police suspected of kidnapping, abducting, assisting the disappearance. Offered him a lawyer. And then we don't have to roundtable that. You went back to what you just said is the sex stuff is fine.
She did. The sex stuff is fine. Now, as many times as I have listened to this interrogation, okay, I got it the first time that the immunity was conditional. Old Aunt Nancy didn't get it. And some people don't pay attention. All right, they just don't, and it's okay. We have busy lives. But out of her own mouth, she said, so the sex stuff wasn't evil. Sex stuff. That's your daughter. Baby Fingers said, I feel like they're waiting for Stefan to take a plea or get convicted at trial before they'll arrest Jenn. So Stefan's crimes are at the forefront for his part in it. The only deal in the state of Florida, okay, other states might give him a pat on the back. Can't do anything about that. But the state of Florida, they want to kill him. They do. They want to give him death for what he did. Not only did he essay Madeline from the age of 8 till her death, according to the probable cause affidavit, he's 100%, or I would say 99.9% responsible for her death. They want to kill him. They can kill him just for the pictures alone in Florida. True story. The only plea that I can think of, not that I'm Judge Judy, is he could plead guilty to everything to avoid death. Alma, thank you for the 5 Crime Lines and Laws memberships. I appreciate that more than you know. Thank you, girlfriend. Because in some states, just for doing what he did to Maddie is enough for death. Some say, oh, they need counseling. They need counseling. They need counseling. I don't deal with that. I just don't. Walking Dead said, anyone have the iPhone link? You mean for membership, son? What you have to do, I don't know what browser you use, but for iPhone, you have to copy the link and paste it into your browser. I don't know why Apple makes it hard on us, but that's okay. They're a good company. There you go. There's the link. Look at that. Kat's explaining it.
These charges? No. The murder charge. Oh, well, we know you're not. Okay, so you got blindsided by that. Yeah.
That's Stephen Stearns talking with his parents after he was charged with murdering Maddie Soto. The newly released call reveals what he told his parents about the alleged sexual abuse of Maddie.
We're at a loss for understanding how all this came about. I mean, we're just totally baffled. Well, I didn't start it.
I also have other details on what police found during the investigation. Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. Stephen Stearns' trial for the murder of Maddie Soto is now set for September 2025. That's a long way away, nearly a year away. Stearns faces the possibility of the death penalty if he's convicted of Maddie's murder before Stearns goes on trial.
And it's a strange thing in states like Florida and the state I live in, Oklahoma, when they have it on the table to put someone to death, they don't really spring it on them in the beginning. Now, any defense attorney, I don't care if he went to night school and has an office in a shopping center, already knows if they're an attorney in the state of Florida and their client is accused of what Stephen's accused of, they know death penalty is going to be asked for. Okay? They know that. So I know some people are saying, well, why haven't they asked for the death penalty? Why haven't they done that? Why haven't they done that? They wait a while to spring that on them. I don't know. That's just what they do. Exactly, Jen Bug. He said, but I didn't start it. I think I didn't start it comes from Madeline trying to talk to her so-called mother. And I think it was her saying, I didn't start it. But he, since he talks like a friggin' baby, that's what he says to his mama. That way he can keep getting this type of bullshit. Look at his commissary. Look at all of the money. The last name Stearns pops into his account. Hey, these are not small chunks of change. At all. That's for him to be a little more comfy in his cell. It's like Don Wells. He still swears that his 5-year-old stepsister came on to him.
Trial for Maddie's murder, he will be tried for sex crimes involving Maddie. He faces 60 counts of sexual battery and possession of child pornography. related to images that police said they found on Stearns' phone and Google Drive. Those images showed Stearns, according to investigators, sexually abusing Maddie, sometimes when she was asleep, sometimes when she was awake. That trial is scheduled for February of next year. Stearns has pleaded not guilty to all of these charges. Now we're learning more about what Stearns told his parents, Chris and Deborah Stearns, in the weeks after his arrest. Just to bring you up to speed, Maddie Soto was reported missing on February 26th of this year. Her mother, Jenn Soto, reported her missing that night, with Stearns standing next to her after she went to pick up Maddie from school. Here's a look back at the body camera footage.
Hey there.
Hey there. What's going on?
So my daughter was dropped off close to school this morning, but never made it. I went to pick her up from school.
I'm sorry, one second.
Yeah.
Go ahead, sir.
My daughter was dropped off close to school this morning, but never made it. Okay, we can already tell that Stefan is dialed out because he knows what happened that day. However, later in the day, Miss Morales in Orlando, who is a personal friend of Jenn Soto's, told her a totally different story. She said, please be on the lookout for Madeline Soto. She is 13 years old and never made it to school today at Hunters Creek Middle School. Her mom dropped her off at the church by the school this morning. This is Jenn Soto protecting Stefan from the get. She tells one of her best friends she dropped her off. Thank you so much, Yalva, for the wonderful donation to the channel. Me love you long time.
Are we looking for another kid or we have a kid?
Looking for another one.
Alright, so people are still on the scene, let's put that out. Any possible location, how long?
13.
I'm trying to get there right now.
Absolutely.
Okay.
All right.
So she was supposed to be dropped off at school, didn't make it to school.
Didn't make it to school. I went to pick her up from school today,
Okay.
and she never came out. They announced it over the speaker, and I'm just like, maybe she walked here because sometimes she'll walk here to this office.
Mhm.
I came here, nothing. I went back to the school, they were closed. I got an email from the school saying she was absent, but I also messaged her teacher, and he looked at her entire attendance today and saw that she was completely not at school today either.
Great question, Grateful Glow. Great question. She says, Grateful Glow asks a question. In this recording, is Jenn aware of the sex photos? Or as Jenn calls it, the sex stuff. That is a loaded question. Because she had been with Stefan for roughly 5 years. She testifies, I shouldn't say testifies, she tells the police that she found it to be a little odd that Stefan was so concerned about his phone. Yet, when they confront her with the pictures, she said, I didn't know my daughter was getting raped until yesterday. I didn't think the sex stuff was evil. So it's kind of a not according to her type of situation.
Okay.
So she never made it.
Okay. What's her name?
Madeline. Madeline.
Madeline.
Maddie had celebrated her 13th birthday the night before with a party at her grandparents' home. This was at the end of February. Stearns hadn't been to Jenn and Maddie's condo in Kissimmee since December. Stearns claimed he had dropped Maddie off at school that morning on February 26th.
She's got this phase that she's been into lately where she's very particular about what car she's seen getting out of in front of the school. She prefers her mom's car, but my cars are, I guess, kind of hoopties. I get it. It's an image thing. But that was sometime probably between 8:20 and 8:40-ish, somewhere in there. It was along this stretch of the road that on the right side that has all the communities on it. Before you get to the overpass. You could see the overpass from where it was. So it was on that side, on that stretch of road, and that's where I dropped her off. She said she was going to go wait for her friends. She was going to go find them and hang out and wait for her friends. And I asked if that was going to be okay. She said, yeah, it's fine. Kids get dropped off early enough as it is. It's not totally unusual for that to happen. It's just not usually that early that I drop her off. I do school runs every once in a while for her. I said, okay. Let her out. Have a good day. Love you. Thanks. Love you too. And I turned around and was driving away and was watching her in my rearview mirror to make sure that she was going where she was supposed to go. And she was moving in that direction, but she was rummaging around in her backpack or something. What I assumed was probably headphones or something like that. But I found out later that she forgot her phone here, so she may have been rummaging for her phone. But she was still kind of making her way towards that direction, so it looked okay. Looked like any other day. And I just continued on.
Paul Berggren was the lawyer who could get you out of any sticky situation. Caught selling pirated videos like Queen Latifah? Caught stabbing your spouse 9 times with a steak knife? Better call Paul. We see lawyers like this in The Sopranos or Breaking Bad, but what happens when those fictional lawyers exist in the real world? Paul Berggren was a master lawyer who knew the system inside and
Stupid.
at school. Stearns was arrested days after Maddie disappeared and charged with sexual battery.
Our detectives have determined that Madeline was never dropped off on the morning of February 26th near her school. Instead, we believe she was already dead at the time and that Stephen Stearns moved her body in the early morning hours on that day. We have video evidence that shows Stephen Stearns discarding items in a dumpster in that apartment complex in Kissimmee at 7:35 on Monday, February 26. Detectives later recovered Madeline's backpack and her school-issued laptop from that dumpster. At 8:19, we have evidence that shows Stephen Stearns returning to the complex and Madeline was visible in that vehicle. We believe she was already dead at that time.
Maddie's body was found on Friday, March 1st, in between 2 bamboo trees on a rural farm property. After police got a tip from a man who'd seen someone matching Stearns' description changing a flat tire the day that Maddie disappeared.
And it was great. Police work. Where's Reality Wins going? I just put Reality Wins comment up on the screen. You're not invisible. We'll get some more moderators soon. It just takes me a while. I apologize, hun. But wire mommy, hopefully I'm saying that right. Every time someone says they think Jenn will get off scot-free, it just makes me sick. Me too. It crunches my stomach. It crunches my stomach. It's in the chat, Reality Wins, and I put it on the screen, honey. Maybe you just can't see it on your end. But that's okay. I don't want your feelings hurt. Yeah, I can't stand it when people say, oh my gosh, she's getting off. She's getting off. She's getting off. Well, we know what gets Jenn Soto off. But I do not think she is in any way, shape, or form scot-free. Hence why she keeps checking herself in and out of the, again, I don't know the woke word for it, the mental institution, and then runs back to her sisters. She claims that she was taking a lot of medication that night so she could get a good night's sleep. What mother? I don't care. What mother could sleep through that? We have a feeling inside about our children, okay? Not just mothers, but fathers too. Let me put it this way. Good fathers and good mothers, all right? Good fathers, good mothers. They seem to have an instinct, like we're dialed in, like we know when one of our children had a good day, or they're not telling us everything. We kind of become our own detectives. However, Jenn Soto supposedly slept through her daughter's soul, leaving the body that she carried in her uterus.
On April 10th, detectives said Stephen Stearns called his father, Chris, and said, "You know that I would never have wanted that for her," meaning Madeline. Stephen then says, "I am not sure really that any one person is specifically responsible. It's probably a combination of..."
This is actually something extremely important that Mr. Disney said. You know, good old Dick Punch. He calls his dad. He tells his father, "You know that I would never have wanted that for her." Talking about Madeline. Stephen goes on to say, "I'm not really sure that any one person is specifically responsible. It's probably a combination of factors that led to it." He says, "I have never felt anything like that before." All right. His feelings, I don't care about. Sorry. I don't care about that shit. But when he says, "I'm not really sure that any one person is specifically responsible," it's probably a combination of factors that led to it. Now, mind you, this guy's already up shit creek. He doesn't have a paddle. He doesn't have a boat. He doesn't have a life preserver. He is up shit creek. That's it. Done. Over. Everything. Everything that was taken off his phone, all of the tracking they did on his car, where they found him, where they found Madeline's body, everything. He's up shit creek. Forget it, dude. Done. Over. So when is he going to tell them Jenn's involvement? It's not going to get him out of jail, and it probably will not save him from the death penalty. But when is he going to say Jenn's involvement? Because they're just letting him sit. They're not going back to interrogate anymore. They're just letting him sit based on the evidence they have collected. So him and his attorneys that the state of Florida are paying for are going to have to figure out a good time to explain Jenn's involvement.
Of factors that led to it. "I have never felt anything like that before. It was horrible." Chris tells Stephen that he hopes the truth will come out, and Stephen responds, "Well, yeah," as if he was dodging the statement. Now to that newly released phone call. It took place on May 13th. The state attorney's office for Orange and Osceola counties just released it.
Okay, happy belated birthday, Mom, and happy belated Mother's Day.
Hi, sweetheart. I was so hoping to hear from you. I'm so glad I'm hearing from you now.
That's like buying your own Mother's Day gift, handing the card to your child saying, "Here, sign this for me," wrapping it for yourself, and then saying, "Oh my gosh, thank you. You're the sweetest ever." His parents pay for the phone calls. His parents pay for them. "Oh, thank you, sweetie. I was so hoping I would talk to you today." So unless his parents are trying to get information out of him about Jenn, I'm not getting it. Listen to her again. "I was so hoping I would hear from you today."
Osceola counties just released it.
Okay. Happy birthday, belated birthday, Mom, and happy belated Mother's Day.
Hi, sweetheart. I was so hoping to hear from you. I'm so glad I'm hearing from you now.
Yeah, I'm sorry I wasn't able to call you all weekend. They had us on lockdown, so no one was able to do anything.
What's interesting about this call as you listen to it is Chris Stearns, Stefan's father, has told detectives before that he worked in law enforcement in the past. He talks with the detectives a lot and appears to offer a lot of information.
Were you expecting these charges? No. The murder charge?
Oh, well, we know you didn't.
Okay, so you got blindsided by that? Yeah. Obviously, it's not true. I never would have wanted her gone for any reason, so, premeditated first degree is kind of a dick punch.
So Stefan Stearns told his parents he wouldn't have wanted Maddie gone for any reason at all. The conversation then turned to Jenn Soto and whether Stearns was cooperating with police or not.
I love how this idiot is trying to get sympathy from his father and his mother. Well, I wouldn't have wanted that for her. So it's kind of a dick punch. It's kind of a dick punch. I tell you what, I wish Maddie had been old enough, mature enough, and strong enough to dick punch you. I wish she had a mother who was mature enough, had enough empathy, loved her daughter enough that she would have said, hands down, he's never coming around you again. Ever. Never. Yet Jenn Soto is slowly but surely, making sure all those arrows go towards Stefan. You know why? Because she says, without anyone asking her, not one detective asked her, she said, well, his dad and I didn't know where he was getting the money. His dad and I didn't know. He just had all these things showing up all the time. His dad did say there was a lot of stuff showing up. She, who had just started working, did not have her first paycheck. Jenn Soto scheduled herself for Botox. Not just a little shot here and a little shot there. $350 to get that mug cleaned up. Oh yeah, you better believe it. But she tells the police, again, unprompted, without being asked, we didn't know where he was getting all that money. And then, ba-boom. Santa and his son, Homeland Security, went to see him. They still have not revealed what images they were selling. But remember, Maddie was found within walking distance of their house. And the church she was dropped off at is the home church of Santa.
Not.
No, I was wondering if you had any updates or anything. Nope, we haven't heard a thing. Just, speculation that she's been
Hiding
put in an institution and hiding in an institution.
at her lawyer's request.
I mean, are you cooperating with police about her participation in any of this stuff? There's been no opportunity for me to cooperate with anything. As I understand, the police keep saying that I'm uncooperative, but they haven't asked me anything to cooperate with, so whatever that means. So your attorney isn't approaching them and saying, my client would like to speak with you? No, my attorneys are pretty much saying to keep my mouth shut until the trial starts.
Well, okay.
Okay, I believe old Mr. Disney here. I do. I believe him. I believe his attorney said, STFU, don't say anything. We are going to deal with the CSAM, some people call it CP, on your phone and other devices. We're going to deal with that. Then when we get to murder, then we'll release the boom on Jenn, because your information about Jenn might be the only thing that keeps you off death row. It's the only ace he has. It's the only ace he has. And I say that lightly because he don't have many.
Okay. I don't know why they were going to wait till the trial, but that's their business, not mine. They don't want anything to hurt my chances. Yep, understand. Okay.
So at this point, it sounds like Stephen Stearns' parents believe that Jenn Soto is involved and that Stearns has information about this. But I'll tell you about evidence police said they found from the day Maddie disappeared later on. Stearns then talked to his parents about his theory about why prosecutors might be going after him, charging him with first-degree murder. Keep in mind, before that, he was charged with more than 60 counts of sexual battery related to Maddie.
Well, obviously this confirms that they're artificially inflating everything up as high as they can possibly do it.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They're trying to see what'll stick.
What the plan is there, if they're just trying to scare me into pleading down, or I don't know.
No, they're not.
Okay. They're just trying to hurt me as much as possible. Are you able to share the Saturday night before you left for Kissimmee? You were pretty upset about something. Did it have to do anything with Kissimmee and the events that took place the next couple of days? No. No, I was just stressed out about money and job and everything like that.
Some woman got on a YouTube thing and said that you weren't even at the party.
Party?
Yeah, her birthday party.
Yeah, I haven't gotten there yet. I went up there Sunday evening and got there after she was done at her party.
Oh, okay.
And we were very happy that I was there. We were very happy that
Maddie had that 13th birthday party, as I told you earlier, that Sunday night. Then she went to bed with Stephen Stearns, and sometime during the overnight hours, police believe Stearns murdered her and then acted as if he was taking her to school and drove around with her body in his car for hours.
Well, you know, the penalty for the crimes you have been charged with carry a minimum 40-year sentence. So obviously we're going to be gone. Rick will be gone. We'll all be gone. I mean, we're sad about that, obviously, because there won't be anybody here for you when you come out. Yeah, you know, and I'll be lucky if I have another 40 years left in me either, so. I mean, I guess that's everything.
Okay, Anna Orlando said wrong. Madeline's grandmother and family didn't like this monster. There is a lot of speculation about this. And again, we're having a conversation here. And yes, Mark Schumann, yes, he is charged with 60 counts. And there will be more after they continue dissecting all of the data. But I want to have this discussion. And if anybody wants to grab the link, please come up. I don't bite, only my cat does if you pick him up the wrong way. Anna said, wrong. Madeline's grandmother and family didn't like this monster. I think most people have the same question about this. We know that on TikTok, Yolanda said from what she saw, Stephen gave Madeline the love she liked. That's what she said. That is what she said. They are supporting the hell out of Jenn. Jenn's father owns the building where people were renting rooms, and one was Stephen Stearns. He would flop there for free. He was at her birthday party the night before she was murdered. So there is a lot of speculation, as in, did they like him? Or was it kind of a, I'm just going to tolerate him because he seems to make old Jenn happy? It is sad all the way around. I guarantee Jenn's family didn't know that she bought a pack of 3 pregnancy tests. One was missing, and Jenn wouldn't need one because Stephen, according to Jenn, only wanted anal with her. It's been a while since I've been in biology, but last I heard, we don't get butt babies. Last I heard.
I wish there was a way that, you know, you and I can have a conversation, all of us could have a conversation to understand what's taken place, how this came about, how you arrived here, because it would help us better understand the situation, because we're at a loss for understanding how all this came about. I mean, we're just totally baffled. Well, I didn't start it. Okay, you didn't start it, but you participated in it, which is just as bad as not starting it. But obviously, I can't get into specific details or anything. But, you know, I mean, if you'd like to schedule a visit with me or something, maybe we can find some way to talk. I don't know. I think we're always going to be recorded, so there won't be an opportunity to do that.
Did you catch what Stearns said there? He said he didn't start it. And his father countered by telling him, you didn't start it, but you participated. It sounds as if Stearns is trying to blame someone else. And the only person he could really blame would be Maddie's mom.
Oh, he's certainly trying to blame someone else. And like his father said, even if you participated, you're just as guilty. Hey, look, even if they try 4 people together, they don't go, 25% for you, 25% for you, 25% for you, and 25% to you. That makes you all 100% guilty, and so y'all are just going to serve a little of each sentence. No. When it comes to the law, participating is as bad as the person that orchestrated it in their mind. Anna Orlando said maybe they just tolerated him. That's what it seems to me, and they're going to be kicking their own ass for the rest of their lives. Because they were very, very involved in Madeline's life. And it seems to me that a lot of people ignored, missed, or couldn't believe. And I can understand the not believing. Okay, I'm a human. You're a human. It's different being in the movie and watching the movie. This is their daughter. This is the Soto family's daughter. This is their granddaughter. So you see something that rubs you, kind of the wrong way. And you're like, oh, no, I don't want to go there. Oh, gosh, no, I don't want to go there. She's a good mom. She takes her to Disney. We take care of all the clothes and everything else. We make sure they have a place to stay. But wait till it all comes out. And it will. Because his defense, when it comes to murder, And probably, as Jenn says, the sex stuff is all going to be aimed at her. They get a jury full of women, they're going to be so hopping mad at Jenn, they might forget about him. You don't know about juries. We've seen some goofy ass juries.
Jenn Soto. Jenn Soto has not been charged with any crimes related to Maddie's death, disappearance, or the alleged sexual abuse of her daughter. She has been questioned by law enforcement at length about allowing Maddie to sleep in the same bed as Stearns. On March 1st, police said they recovered surveillance video that showed Stephen Stearns moving Maddie Soto's body the morning he claimed he had taken her to school. The surveillance video came from a Holiday Inn vacation club. While reviewing the surveillance, Detective Jones observed that at approximately 9:40 hours, the target vehicle, a silver Lincoln MKZ, turned onto the above business property from Emissary Avenue, then proceeded to their parking garage. While in the parking garage, a male wearing a dark hat, red shirt, and tan pants exited the vehicle and opened the trunk. The male then walked to the front passenger side of the vehicle, opened the door, and proceeded to carry what appeared to be a limp body to the trunk of the vehicle. Now, I've told you many, many times that police found more than 1,700 images on Stephen Stearns' phone and Google Drive that showed him sexually abusing Maddie. Detectives said there were other images they found that showed Stearns heaping on one of Jenn Soto's roommates. A detective wrote, "I noticed Stephen had a folder on his phone's gallery labeled this woman's name, which contained over 90 images that were captured of an unaware female. Upon further examining these images, I identified the female in the images to be Stephen's roommate. The photographs/videos of this woman were captured in her bedroom and in a bathroom while she was nude, where she had an expectation of privacy, and they appear to have been captured without her knowledge or consent."
All right, in my uneducated opinion, remember, uneducated opinion, uneducated, I believe that these photos were to be sold. The reason why, in my uneducated opinion, now I believe Stephen is definitely a ped. I'm not taking that guy on T-Rev's channel for it because he turned out to be fake, and that was a horrible thing to do. Imagine being those investigators trying to track that dude down to find out it's a friend of his. Hell, investigators know anything that's on my channel, they can have it. I've talked to more detectives over the years, and you can imagine when someone comes on. Sometimes they want it, sometimes they don't. But I'm going to say, stereotypically, people have a type. Okay? People have a type. And peds have a type. I think about the case of Sean Hornbeck, where Michael Devlin kidnapped Sean. Total Stockholm Syndrome. But once he got to a certain age, he planned to kill him. And he begged, no, 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 no. I'll just be your son. That's a way to stay alive. Then he went and kidnapped Ben Owensby. Why? Because he was a much younger boy. Stephen has a type. And a grown-ass woman shaving her armpits in the bathroom is not his type, from what I'm seeing. No. So all of these images that were taken in this trap house were 100%, in my opinion, for sale.
In addition, the images appeared to have been taken with a device that was concealed to the view of the roommate. Now, there's also been discussion about Maddie and Stearns texting about a coin, two sides of a coin. Detectives wrote, on 12/16/2023, at 0040.
Okay. This is beyond important because Maddie sent a text to Stefan. Now, I do not care what other people say. Women have a real good inkling where their babies come from. Normally, they know 100%, and Maddie, if she suspected she was having a baby, she damn sure knew where that baby came from. Now, on 12/16/2023, Stefan was no longer living there. No, sir. He was not. But she sends him a text message that contains a photograph of 2 coins. The coins have the inscription of New Parent Decision Coin and appeared to be from Amazon.com. Maddie sends 2 follow-up texts to Stefan saying, "We need this and get it for us, please." A search at Amazon for these coins revealed that the coins are for new parents, or one can flip a coin to decide if it is the mother's or father's time to complete a task for a newborn. Due to a fact that this conversation was not near Father's Day or Mother's Day, leads one to believe Maddie and Stefan had possibly spoke about conceiving a child. Now, some people say where this is blacked out, it's actually Jenn. But if you blow it up, you can see a little bit of the lettering underneath it. Now, I don't believe that Maddie and Stefan spoke about conceiving a child. I believe that Maddie realized she could be pregnant. Hence why Jenn Soto bought the pregnancy tests. Now, according to her, she's the girlfriend, right? She's the girlfriend. She would be the one that could possibly be pregnant. One is missing. Only one. So, according to court documents, when it became apparent in January that Maddie did not menstruate, well, then here comes her birthday. You know, in these other channels, I don't expect an apology, but if somebody has a theory or speculation, it's called an opinion, and they need to let it go and not personally attack people. They really need to quit that, because the police were asking about possible pregnancy from the beginning. And no, it has not been released. Nope, not at all. It has not been released. It is not for what they say human consumption at this point. They're saving it for trial. And maybe that's when they get Jenn. I don't know. And I'm going to say why I believe this is from Maddie. Because if it was from Jenn, they would have brought it up in interrogation and she'd be locked up. That is my opinion.
47 hours. Madeline sends a text message to Stefan that contained a photograph of 2 coins. The coins had the inscription of New Parent Decision Coin and appeared to be from Amazon.com. The name is redacted, but it is Madeline. And it says she sends 2 follow-up texts to Stefan stating, "We need this and get it for us, please." A search of Amazon for these coins revealed these coins are for new parents, where one can flip a coin to decide if it is the mother's or father's time to complete a task for a newborn. Due to the fact that this conversation was not near Father's Day or Mother's Day, it leads one to believe that Madeline and Stefan had possibly spoken about conceiving a child. Now, if this is...
See right there? And Jeanette is reading the unredacted version. That's the reason she just slipped and said Madeline. I'm getting real tired of people busting my lady balls about this, saying, no, that's from Jenn. That's from Jenn. But right there, she's reading the unredacted version, and she slips and says Madeline. Listen again.
To the view of the roommate. Now, there's also been discussion about Maddie and Stearns texting about a coin, two sides of a coin. Detectives wrote, on 12/16/2023 at 00:47 hours, Madeline sent a text message to Stefan that contained a photograph of two coins. The coins had the inscription of New Parent Decision Coin and appeared to be from Amazon.com. The name is redacted, but it is Madeline. And it says she sends two follow-up texts to Stefan stating, we need this and get it for us, please. A search of Amazon for these coins revealed these coins are for new parents, where one can flip a coin to decide if it is the mother's or father's time to complete a task for a newborn. Due to the fact that this conversation was not near Father's Day or Mother's Day, it leads one to believe that Madeline and Stefan had possibly spoken about conceiving a child. Now, if this is true, it's a big wow moment. Maddie was a kid, and there has been speculation that she may have been pregnant since she had possibly missed her menstrual cycle that month. We still don't know if that's true, but her mother was questioned about it. Those coins look like this on the Amazon website.
So on top of everything else, Maddie expected to have a baby. Are you serious? Can it get any worse for Madeline Soto? Now, there's a few channels out there. I guess some people call them hate channels. They don't like this conversation. Hey, that's okay. They don't pay my bills. They say that Maddie is not getting respect by talking about this. Again, if the police can question it, why can't we have a conversation amongst ourselves? What it comes down to with the coins, my friends, as I promised a week or so ago that we would do a show about this, she was anticipating a child. I think when Jenn Soto got that pack of 3 pregnancy tests, she planned to keep it to herself. But Maddie starts texting Stefan. Then Jenn says, oh, I've got to go to work. You can take her to the birthday party. Oh, I need good sleep. You two go to room number 4. And then within hours, Maddie's dead.
That contained a photograph of two coins. The coins had the inscription of New Parent Decision Coin and appeared to be from Amazon.com. The name is redacted, but it is Madeline, and it says she sends two follow-up texts to Stefan stating, we need this and get it for us, please. A search of Amazon for these coins revealed these coins are for new parents, where one can flip a coin to decide if it is the mother's or father's time to complete a task for a newborn. Due to the fact that this conversation was not near Father's Day or Mother's Day, it leads one to believe that Madeline and Stefan had possibly spoken about conceiving a child. Now, if this is true, it's a big wow moment. Maddie was a kid. And
well, I don't know where Aunt Jeanette's saying if this is true. She has the unredacted, okay? They have evidence that this text came from Maddie's phone to Stefan's. In a normal world, it would seem probable that Jenn Soto might have been worried, anxious, whatever word you want to use, that she would buy a pregnancy test because she knows that she's been doing the horizontal boogaloo with Stefan. But her reports were he only wanted anal with her. I've never heard of a pregnancy test that goes up the butt, and I've never heard of a woman carrying a baby in their colon. Sorry, I remember enough biology to know that. They go one place, they're carried one place, they grow one place. Would she take one and stick it down her throat too? Because she said he loved oral. He loved oral. She thinks she got a baby growing in her throat? No. No. Those tests were for Madeline. And the police know it. Go through this with me, please.
Case. More interviews with Maddie's mom, Jenn Soto, were recently released. Detectives hinted to Jenn that Maddie may have been pregnant.
Hannah McKenzie is live here in the studio right now. So, Hannah, these interviews happened in the weeks after Maddie's body was found.
Yes, and we have been going through hours of these video and audio interviews. In this video interview that we showed you yesterday, investigators questioned Maddie Soto's mother, Jenn Soto, on February 28th, asking her if she had seen a pregnancy test inside the house. Then weeks later, in an interview with Kissimmee police, the same topic comes up again.
They don't ask questions that they don't already know the answer to. When they interrogate, they already know evidence and they need the answer. They need a confirmation on what they already know. Read The Art of Interrogation. I think it's still available on Facebook. I'm sorry, Amazon. They know. So 2 different agencies asked her about pregnancy. But you think they're just fishing for answers? What they weren't expecting, in my humble opinion, allegedly, is for her to bring up the money. That's the only thing that I saw the detective just stop talking on. His dad and I didn't know where he was getting all that money. So she throws a curveball because she didn't want to answer the questions about the pregnancy tests. So shame on these channels that come after people that want the truth about what happened to children in our society. Call me simple, but I believe when a child is abused, it's everyone's friggin' business.
We have strong beliefs that Maddie is deceased.
This is the moment Jenn Soto is told her daughter's disappearance was becoming a murder investigation, and the main suspect in Maddie Soto's death.
I assumed he dropped her off, that she went missing, and that he had nothing to do with it.
Jenn Soto's boyfriend, Stefan Stearns.
I wanted to think the best of him and think, oh, he's innocent, but you guys are just pursuing the wrong person.
Just a few hours after Kissimmee police had this conversation with Jenn, Maddie's body was found in a field in St. Cloud.
I didn't even think he would drive that down there, because everything, for the most part, that he did was in Orlando by the mall.
It wasn't until weeks later, though, that the state attorney's office announced Stearns was being indicted for Maddie's murder. That was April 24th. But 6 days before that,
So anything you say today can't and won't be used against you unless you just don't tell us the truth.
Jenn was at the state attorney's office being questioned about Maddie's death.
I knew that they were going to go to McDonald's, but not 7 o'clock in the morning.
And a possible motive. Multiple times, detectives asked her about Maddie's menstrual cycle.
I would write what days she would get her period in. In February, no, I didn't notice her using any of her feminine hygiene products.
Right there, she says it. Now, there's some real dum-dums out there that go, oh, girls get periods all the time, especially when they're so young, Okay, well, if it wasn't a big deal for her to skip periods, then it wouldn't have been a big deal that she skipped one. Does that make any sense? If you track her cycle that carefully, when she is a preteen, she hadn't turned 13 yet. But if you're tracking them that heavily, she's not 15 with a boyfriend. She's not 16 with a boyfriend. She's not 17 with a boyfriend. She's 12 with your boyfriend, Jenn Soto. Write that down. You're tracking her periods from age 11, when the only man she's around is your boyfriend. We know what you're worried about. Hence why in June of 2023, you said it's too risky. Too risky.
Hinting at the possibility Maddie may have been pregnant. That has not been confirmed.
And it's not going to be confirmed for a very, very long time. And they're not going to tell Jenn. And they're not going to tell Stefan. And they're not going to tell his defense team. They're going to let them sit and think about it. Just like they're not saying anything about the death penalty. They're going to let them sit there and think about it for a while. Look at Triggered. She said, I'm raising my granddaughter who's 12 and I don't track her periods. No, but she had an app and everything. Well, I'll tell you what, I need to get an app for you guys because look at this. Every time I turn around, it's raining in here. Get your umbrellas. In my opinion, this says a lot.
I've always told him that my biggest fear is that this would turn into a Woody Allen situation where the stepdaughter or the dad grooms the child and the child turns 18 and ends up running away with him. I told him like that was my biggest fear and I don't ever want that happening. Like, you can't do that to me. Like,
why would you say that to him?
Because I never trusted. I grew up being told never trust a man. My mom put that in my body. Never trust a man.
Forget about what her mom said. Listen to it again. It's her biggest fear that, like Woody Allen, she, meaning Maddie, would run away with him. We know that she wrote a very telling letter when Maddie's dad went to jail. Okay? She seemed to have some resentment towards Maddie, thinking that when she got pregnant with Maddie, that's the reason that Maddie's dad didn't want her anymore. Then we get to Stefan. who she's all over. She thinks he is all that in a bag of chips, like we used to say. But listen to her again. She would run away with him.
I've always told him that my biggest fear is that this would turn into a Woody Allen situation where the stepdaughter or the dad grooms the child and the child turns 18 and ends up running away with him. I told him like that was my biggest fear and I don't ever want that happening. Like, you can't do that to me. Like,
why would you say that to him?
Because I never trusted. I grew up being told never trust a man. My mom put that in my body. Never trust a man.
Who does she not trust? Stefan or Maddie? Because she says she would run away with him. If you're worried about that, then why is old boy around? Why is he around if you're worried about that? Words like grooming and Woody Allen do not enter our vocabulary when we have children. No one thinks when they have someone around their child, well, this is going to be another Woody Allen situation, and I can't have that happen to me because my mom put in my body never to trust a man, even though she kept him around. And then my daughter might leave with him. Let me tell you what. She is on my list. She is on my list. Well, you guys are too, but in a good way. Thank you for all these amazing donations and support of this channel today. Mod Squad, what am I going to do with you? Look at this, Tony. Never trust a man, but send poor Maddie upstairs to sleep with him. Disgusting. Tanya, very good show. Brooks, please don't stop covering this case. Never. Not till there's justice. You know me. I'll beat a dead horse. Hell, I'm still talking about Quentin Simon, and the gavel's already come down. No, we're going to stick with it. Lots of love today, lots of friends, lots of conversation, lots of opinions that people are adult enough to agree or disagree with and not have a big old shit fit. Thank you so much for everything. You guys have no idea how much you mean to me. I hope you have an amazing, amazing weekend and get geared up for next week because we got a lot going on. And when I say a lot, I mean we got a lot going on. So thanks for being the best friends anyone can have on these nasty YouTube streets. And I would just say the best community. But hey, I'm not biased. Love you lots. Bye.